Hi everyone, welcome back to Melissa's Soapery. Today is the first video in how to make cold process soap. Today's video is going to focus on safety and how to prepare your lye. The first recommendation, because if you lose your sight, if you get lye in your eyes, it's never coming back. So you need to make sure you have a good pair of safety glasses, gloves, long sleeve shirts. And yes, I know some of my videos, most of them, I'm not wearing long sleeve shirts simply because it's so hot here, but I'm setting a poor example. So from now on, I will have long sleeves on. Out of habit, sometimes I typically have a bad habit of doing this, pulling them up because I get hot, but I'm going to try not to do that. The next thing that you're going to need is a screw top container. That makes sure that if it were to spill or drop over, or you drop it, something knocks it over, it's not going to spill and get everywhere. Until you make your soap, the lye is very caustic and corrosive. So you want to make sure that you follow the safety steps, and I recommend doing it in your sink, prepare it, and then you can put the top on and put it somewhere safe, away from children, away from pets. Anybody that doesn't have safety gear on, you need to keep it away, keep it in a safe place. Also, don't recommend leaving your lye water for more than 14 days because then it can lose its potency and it will become ineffective. I like to prepare mine and then let it sit overnight and use it the next day. So let's get started. Okay. We're going to start with the water. You never pour water into your lye. You always pour the lye into your water. Now, when we get to formulating a recipe, it's going to tell you how much water and how much lye. My recipe for the mold that I typically use calls for 292.87 grams. So I'm going to round that up to 292 grams because my scale won't do half grams, fourth of a gram. Alright, it's set to grams. Now I just need to tear off the container. And I also recommend using at least half of the water in frozen liquid. When we get further into this, you will learn that you can put not just water, you can use fruit juices, vegetable juices, beer, wine. I only do water. So let's get some ice cubes and get this going. Okay, so we have a little more than half with the ice. And you always want to use plastic. If you use glass, of course, it's also breakable, but the lye will etch it and make it weak. Okay. And also, whatever you use for your soap making, you can never go back to using it for food. If you have old storage containers that you don't use anymore for food, you can most certainly use them to make lye and store it. All right, now we're going to measure out the lye. Okay, we're measuring out 158 grams. And also using the ice helps prevent the fumes from the lye, which can be quite irritating to your lungs and nose. All right, lye is measured out. So now we're just going to pour the lye into our ice and water mixture. And when you mix it, it's best to do it with either a metal spoon or plastic. Don't use wood because the lye will just eat it. So I have a metal spoon that I do just for this. And it's going to begin to melt the ice. And you don't have to use ice. It just, like I said, helps prevent the fumes from getting to be too much and keeps it from getting so hot. Once you mix the lye into the water, it's going to heat up. Because you see how it's melting the ice. And you want to leave your gloves, all protective gear on, even once you're through and you're cleaning up. Screw the top on, and I'm going to set it to the side. And now we're going to, so anything that was around your lye, what I recommend is taking a paper towel and using some vinegar to wipe out everything that the lye came in contact with or could have came in contact with. Vinegar neutralizes any lye that may be left behind. I'm also going to wipe my scale down. Okay. And for the container and spoon, just rinse it with cool water. And that's it. I'm gonna let this dry on its own. I'm gonna leave it right here to dry, and that is it. I will link everything in the description box that you will need, including where I get my lye from. There's lots of different places you can get lye. You're just gonna have to look and see what's cheapest on shipping for you. I use Aztec because they're in Tennessee. I'm in Georgia, so typically it gets here very quick and the shipping is not so much. All right, we will see you for the next video where we actually make a bar of soap. I would also like to add, make sure whether you use ice or not to keep the fumes down, that you're in a well-ventilated area. And also, I forgot to add for the safety gear, long pants and closed-toed shoes. So you cover as much as you can cover, which I always do. I may slip up and wear a short sleeve shirt or push my sleeves up, but I always have that on. That's very, very important because if it splashes on you, it can cause a chemical burn. And of course, if it gets in your eyes, you could lose your sight. And if you lose your sight to lye, it's never going to come back. So please, please follow the safety instructions. If something were to happen, any reputable lye distributor is going to have a safety sheet on what to do if you come into contact with lye, get a chemical burn, anything like that. But as long as you're safe, and I'm not trying to scare you, as long as you're safe, everything should go great. So just like I said, make sure you have, of course I've taken my glasses off and put my regular glasses back on. Make sure you have good safety glasses, long sleeve shirts, gloves, long pants, closed-toed shoes, screw top lid to store your lye in. If you choose not to use ice, make sure you are in a well-ventilated area. But I still recommend, even if you do use ice, to do it in a well-ventilated area, whether you have to open a window, turn a fan on, something like that. And we will see you for the next video. Thank you.